ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to Something Sporty. This is a show where we talk about sports, and sometimes we don't. We talk about other things. This is finally happening. We've had some roadblocks in our way, but without further ado, this is our first episode. I guess I'll be your host. My name is Elijah. Yeah, and this is the crew. We have Erik. Everyone give a round of applause for Erik, everybody.
Let's go.
Hello,
Let's
everyone.
go. And then on my right, stage left, we got London. Let's give it up for London, guys. All right. So this is it, guys. We are about a week or two behind from everybody else, that making shows. But we're at it. We're doing it. We were going to do something last week. London was on assignment a couple weeks ago at the Justin Bieber concert, and he caught a little something extra than the believing. I don't know what Justin Bieber does. So, London, how are you feeling? Is the main question.
I'm healthy now. I went to a Justin Bieber concert, as you mentioned, and came back, waking up the next morning on my birthday with type C strep throat. So I was knocked out for about a week. Still on some antibiotics now, but we are back, and we are better, and we are ready. So let's go ahead and get to the show on the road.
So my weekend was a pretty busy weekend. I was working all weekend, and having to deal with this daylight savings did not help. But my Friday night was pretty fun. I went to a independent pro wrestling show with a good friend of mine, and one thing I like about independent pro wrestling shows is that because they're a lot smaller, there's not as many people. It's a lot more interactive. You can really, trash talk the wrestlers, the bad guys or whatever, and they'll hear it and they interact with you in a way.
Yeah. What's that venue like?
Was it like a high school gym or something?
No, it is it's the State Room in South San Francisco. It is a banquet hall, but like an event hall. So it's pretty small. It's got chandeliers and stuff, and just regular old.
The crowd is right on top of the wrestling ring.
Basically, there's maybe 100 seats.
Okay.
So you have just a few rows spread around the ring, and there's a little ramp and stuff. No, and so the first, the second or third match, there was this one guy, and I'm gonna confuse all you guys with all this terminology. So there's this one guy. His name is Daniel Garcia. Now he's a skinny guy, but he's a technical wrestler. So he's more about the in-ring beauty of wrestling, the technical style.
Okay.
And so there's this one guy who looks a lot like this guy, this Daniel Garcia guy. I don't even remember what this wrestler's name was. I just didn't like this guy's face. Something about the way he walked and his very narrow shoulders, I just didn't like him. And right before the match started, I go, "Hey, someone take care of that dollar store Daniel Garcia." And he looks to me and he's like, Daniel Garcia trained me, blah, blah, blah. And he got mad for real. He got so ticked off.
He wasn't too keen of the Walmart Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, no, he did not like that. And I was like, "Oh, good for you, bud." He's like, "Yeah, how about you come over these ropes and I'll I'm like, "Bring it, dude. I don't care, dude. How about you hit the gym, bro?" And then so I thought it was over because I've had that before where I interact with wrestlers and I'll say something, they say something back, but then there's a match they have to do, and so that's pretty much it. But it was not it. This guy, I struck a nerve with this guy.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the match, he starts the momentum. He's got some guy in an arm block or something or another, and he's hammering him down. And then out of nowhere, the guy stops, looks at me, points at me, and is like, "Yeah, you, me, yeah, you. How about you get over here and I'll you up?" I'm like, "Well, all right." I'm in the second row. I stand up. I go past the first row. I'm heading towards the ring now. I got security guards holding me back. Or one security guard. I'm not trying to lie to the people here. It was one security guard. But yeah, no, this guy was holding me back. And I know what I'm doing. I know I'm just trying to raggle this guy up. But honestly, the more that he was pointing at me, I want to fight this guy. He's telling me he can fuck me up. This guy doesn't look like he's lifted a pencil in his life, let alone thinks he can handle me. And that was pretty much the end of it. I saw him after the show.
So did you end up getting in the ring?
No, I was almost wanted to, but the show was just starting, and that's a good way to get kicked out of the show.
This was the beginning.
This was like
So
towards.
you haven't even seen him fight yet.
Yeah, no, this is like a few minutes into the match.
So this guy could be an absolute monster, and you're just throwing yourself
you know,
in there.
so I watched the rest of the match, and like, you know, he's all right, he's okay, but like, this guy doesn't even lift. Like, that's my thing. Like, you have to look, and I know.
So lifting equals ability in your eyes.
Yeah, no, a little bit. I mean, I'm just flexing out.
Yeah.
But I have a tad bit of skill. You know, I've dabbled in some MMA, some jiu-jitsu, judo, and stuff. So I think I can handle myself if something really happened. But it would have been interesting to see.
I'm sure the crowd would have loved it.
I'm sure the crowd would have loved it too.
You definitely have that body build. So.
Oh, stop it, you. Okay, keep going. All right. No, so.
You probably drop him. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, I probably would have too. I would have taken this guy to school. But that was my weekend. You know, I had to work all weekend. And then dealing with this daylight savings, not very fun. Well, anyway, I think we shot enough into the barrel.
Yeah.
Let's get into it with some of our news. There has been a lot of stuff going on in the NFL this past weekend. This happened.
Free agency day one of the NFL today.
And the top free agent, even though it was announced yesterday, but it's probably the biggest news. Tom Brady unretiring from the NFL after what?
40 days.
After 40 days and a cup of coffee? Like
40 days and a couple of days of driving the kids to school. He said, yeah, I'm going back to the NFL.
Yeah, you know, he did a couple days of like the regular people life. You know, probably played games with his kids and, you know, went to the movies with his wife or something. Was like, you know, I think I'm better off on the field.
Yeah, he spends 40 days with the wife and kids and says, yeah, being a dad, maybe I'll take the Super Bowl instead.
And he's like, yeah, no. So, yeah, TB back to TB. He's going back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the next season.
Yeah.
There was a rumor going on over the weekend that the Buffalo Bills were interested in Rob Gronkowski. You can just LOL that rumor out the window now. Now that Brady's back, there's no question that Gronk wants to be back playing with his best friend.
Yeah,
Didn't he say that like he wanted to play with Josh Allen after Brady retired?
He did.
He said something like that.
Gronk's not playing with anybody else as long as Brady's playing.
As long as Tom Brady's around, Gronk will be right at his side.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So,
but aside from Gronk, the Bucs are losing. I mean, not officially yet, but they got some good free agents that are yet to re-sign. So
who do we got?
Well, they got Fournette.
Okay.
Oh, actually, not just all three of their starting running backs. Fournette is free agent. Gio Bernard's free agent. Ronald Jones free agent. So, I mean, they're gonna have to either re-sign one or two of them or sign somebody else. I don't really know who else is on the market in terms of running backs. And then obviously Gronk, and then Chris Johnson, torn ACL. He's also a free agent. Oh, sorry. Not Chris Johnson. Chris Godwin.
Godwin.
I don't know why I just drew a blank on that, but yeah, he tore his ACL late in the season last year, and he's also out of contract. So, I mean, they're losing a couple weapons offensively, and one of their linemen, I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head, but he just signed with the Bengals. So obviously that's going to be a big downfall for Tom. So I mean, they got a lot of work to do. I mean. The good thing is, and I think this definitely plays a big part into Tom Brady saying, you know what, I'm going to come back, is the NFC is losing everybody. They lost. Russell Wilson is gone from the Seahawks. So, yeah. I mean, it's basically in the NFC you got the Rams and, you know, Green Bay and then
the Cardinals.
The Niners, yeah, Cardinals, but they're in their own – they got their own drama going on. But they did just re-sign James Conner. They both just re-signed for the Cardinals, but yeah, I mean that compared to the AFC, the NFC is not even close at the moment in terms of quarterback play and I mean the Bucs division itself is terrible. They got New Orleans quarterbackless, Carolina. I mean they got Sam Darnold.
They have Cam Newton and like
Sam Darnold, but no Cam Newton.
Cam. That was he only signed
out.
for one.
He's not playing. He's not playing.
Plus, he was garbage
He's
anyway.
terrible.
Get him out.
Yeah, he's the worst.
You know, so it's funny with Tom. It seemed like he had the right plan. Like there's nothing else Tom Brady can do.
I'm not shocked at all that he's back.
Definitely not shocked, but is this the right move?
I mean, I don't see why not. It's not like, I mean, obviously you don't win, 7 Super Bowls not being a competitive guy. So obviously he's complete, overly competitive. And I mean, I get it if he sucked last year and they weren't good, but I mean, they lost to the Rams off of, a Cooper Cup bomb that Stafford threw just to end the game, and then he leads the league in passing yards. Like, it's not like he's washed. This guy's still top 5 for sure quarterback
Absolutely.
in the NFL. So I mean, I'm not at all shocked that he's coming back, and I think, I mean, with him back, the Bucks will definitely be a solid playoff team. I don't think, at least right now, they're not gonna be winning any Super Bowl this season, but.
The guy said, like, unfinished business. Like, what unfinished business? You've won 7 rings, 3 MVP honors, 5 Super Bowl MVP honors, and a multi-time Pro Bowler. Like, what else do you have to prove? You're the GOAT.
Yeah, that's.
What else are you trying to do?
That just goes back to the competitiveness, right?
Surpass Bill Belichick in rings? He has 8 all time. Most rings all time for anyone at the moment.
Yeah, well, Tom Brady. So we're a little not split on the Tom Brady situation, but hey, you can never count Tom Brady out. Like, I didn't think he was going to win the Super Bowl 2020.
Yeah.
Like, there was no chance.
I thought that was a cherry on top for him. I thought he was going to go out.
If he would have just retired after that, that would have been baller as heck. Like,
yeah, I thought like he was gonna pull like a Michael Jordan on the Washington Wizards thing, just like signed with 1 season and then gone for good. But no, he proved everyone wrong.
Yeah,
sure did. We got some other people switching teams and such. This isn't the newest, but like last week, like as previously mentioned, Russell Wilson traded from the Seattle Seahawks to the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
That AFC West
Broncos are going to be scary.
Is scary. We
Chargers
have
are making moves.
Mahomes, Herbert, Derek Carr, and now Russell Wilson. This is going to be a scary division for anybody in the AFC. The AFC West is packed.
Yeah, AFC West. Chargers just signed Khalil Mack.
That's right. I forgot about that.
J.C. Jackson. So their defense is going to be really good.
Oh, man.
And offensively, I mean, they just re-signed Mike Williams. They've obviously got Herbert and Eckler coming back.
Herbert's having a solid career so far.
Yeah, he's
solid
been really
season.
good.
He's going to get himself a Super Bowl one of these years.
I always thought that coming out of Oregon, he was going to be really good, and he ended up falling down to the Chargers. I think he was like the 7th pick or something like that. But I always thought he was going to be a good NFL QB, and so far he's been really good.
So, also with that, we got Aaron Rodgers signing back with the Green Bay Packers after an uncertain, a very uncertain offseason so far. Yeah, very dramatic.
Very dramatic offseason and regular season.
And regular
Rodgers,
season.
the whole
Rodgers,
thing and
the Rodgers was at the forefront of everything when it came to on and off the field situations.
Not to mention fresh off a 4th MVP award.
We're talking back-to-back MVPs from my boy AR12.
yeah, so you either love him or you hate him.
And I love him. Yeah. I've been a Green Bay Packers fan for a good 10, 11 years now. That was the year that they won the Super Bowl. That was the first time. Or the only time, really.
The only
time Rodgers has won a Super Bowl. The last time the Packers themselves, as an organization, won one. But, I've always been an Aaron Rodgers
every year
fan.
aside from that, he loves getting crushed by the Niners.
Hey, man, that's unfortunately true. It's very sad to see that. When they played, that wasn't even the NFC Championship. That was divisional.
Yeah.
So this past year,
they lost divisional. But then they played in the regular season, like week 3.
Yeah.
And, actually had a bet with my dad about that. He had the Niners, I had the Packers, and the loser had to buy the winner a steak dinner. And I won that, and I was like, all right, we're going to pick up this momentum. It's all good. The Niners. Sorry for cursing again. Try not to get cut off air. And then, postseason Aaron Rodgers, like, what's going on? Like, we had all the weapons.
Yeah, he was unstoppable.
Had all the momentum. And then just, I don't know.
Yeah, the Packers were 13-4, the best record in the entire league, and then they
number 1 seed, and then they
number 1 seed 2 years in a row.
They can't score more than 10 points against the Niners.
However, special teams won that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Special teams lost that game for Green Bay. Special teams won that game for San Francisco.
Yeah, there was no offense from either side in that game.
the first like set of downs for the Packers, that game, the divisional game, was perfect. Like they smashed, throws a bomb to Devontae Adams, just made it look elementary. Oh, here we go.
I thought the Niners had no chance that game.
Yeah,
but
I thought it was just a fluke. Like they somehow beat the Cowboys. Screw the Cowboys.
No, yeah, I knew the Cowboys. The Cowboys are always fraud. I mean, they've been
America's
fraud
team?
the past 15, 20 years.
America's team, or like America's most overhyped team.
Facts.
Yeah, no,
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, Zeke overhyped. Dak
is
overhyped.
Respect to Dak for coming back from his injury. He's talented, but that whole organization, I mean, it's just fraud everywhere around.
It's nothing but overhype.
And speaking of the San Francisco 49ers, San Francisco 49ers are also in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah.
They have the Jimmy G and their whole situation. It seemed like Jimmy G is just ready to go.
I don't know how he hasn't gone yet. I mean, I saw something. It was like Tom Brady's retired and came back before the Niners could get rid of Jimmy G. It's been a story now for like the past 2 years with him trying to, basically since they drafted Trey Lance, with them trying to trade him, and he's not good enough. I mean,
and
I'm a big Jimmy G guy. I think talent-wise, obviously he's not the best QB, but I mean his record speaks for itself. The guy wins games, and I mean, who would have thought this season that Niners would get into the NFC Championship? I mean,
I did not. I was not expecting that.
None of us were.
After the previous season, nobody was expecting the Niners to do as well as they did, and I mean, you could say all you want about Jimmy G, but man, the guy just wins games.
Hey, and I was like, and we were just talking about that of giving respect to Dak. Let's give some respect to Jimmy G. He was thrown way under the bus during the entire season. He injured his thumb, injured his shoulder, had 3 or 4 crazy comeback wins to get to the postseason, to get where they got. You got to give it to Jimmy G. The guy can deliver.
Yeah, their defense definitely balled out. I mean, their offense is basically Deebo Samuel, but I mean, if
and
obviously
Kittle.
there's always a better option out there, but I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be Trey Lance.
It's definitely not right now.
Yeah.
Everyone was hyping up this Trey Lance guy, and like, I remember during part of the season they were talking about him, and they're like, "Well, Trey Lance had his best practice showing last week." I'm like, practice showing?
He's full of practice highlights.
I want to see an actual
49ers
game first.
49ers Twitter loves posting the practice highlights.
Look at him throw an 85-yard bomb out on practice.
Yeah. It's because the guy hasn't played since North Dakota State, and he skipped. They didn't even have a COVID season, so he hasn't played.
Who in the right mind would choose Trey Lance in the draft over Mac Jones?
Yeah.
What? I had Mac Jones going to the 49ers during the draft last year. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
So far, Mac Jones, I mean, he's done. He had a really good rookie year, but
fantastic.
He's still got a lot to prove as well.
He's definitely have a lot to prove, but I just based on where the guys came from.
Yeah.
Where was
Alabama.
Mac Jones from? Alabama, like top tier Division I school.
Mac Jones, he just plays the game the right way. He just fits in the Belichick system very well. And I mean, obviously Trey Lance hasn't really had a chance to prove himself yet, but we'll see how he goes.
All right, London, since sounds like you're such a Jimmy G fan, where do you see Jimmy G going for real?
Oof, I mean, there's definitely a lot of teams that could use him. I mean, there's also been a lot of signing. I would say Miami would be a good spot, but they just picked up Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know if you guys saw that. That just happened today.
I did not.
Neither did I.
Man, I mean, Tampa Bay would have been, a good spot for him as well. With Tom Brady just re-signing, obviously that's not going to happen. Man.
So let's think about it. Like right now, where are their quarterbackless teams? So just to catch everybody up, Mitchell Trubisky's heading to the Steelers.
He just went to Pittsburgh, which would be a good destination for Jimmy G, I think, as well. I mean, who knows what they're planning?
Maybe
Big Ben is gone.
Trubisky,
I think, is probably better than Mason Rudolph. I mean, Mason Rudolph, that guy's a nutcase and freaking.
Agreed.
According to Myles Garrett, a racist, but who knows?
Myles Garrett is hitting people with his helmet all the time. Give him a pinch of salt every time he says anything.
Yeah.
We got Carson Wentz going to
Yeah.
with the Washington Commanders.
He's with the Commanders now, so I mean,
So we have some open teams.
you got like the Giants could always use some help.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Jones.
Well, the
I think
Jets
Daniel
need some help.
No,
The Jets
come on.
have-
The
they
Jets,
have,
the Jets. We
They
got
have Zach Wilson as their
for those that
quarterback.
don't know, I'm a big Jets fan. Zach Wilson, he had a promising rookie season. I
He
think.
did, honestly.
He had like 2 or 3 rookie of the weeks. I mean, with their offensive weapons, I mean he did what he could. I mean we did have Mike White one game. Mike White had a monster game and everybody was going crazy. And then he came back to earth the following week. But yeah, no, I think Zach Wilson will be all right. But for Jimmy G, yeah, I mean there's the Giants that could use. New Orleans would be
New Orleans is quarterback
be
right now.
a good destination for him.
What about
Houston?
Indianapolis?
Indianapolis needs a QB.
Colts are in desperate. Well, yeah, they're fresh out of a quarterback. They traded Wentz for picks.
Yeah, for picks
Yeah.
they didn't get any.
3rd round picks in this year, like a 3rd round picks in 2022. Yeah, that's
So-
about it.
You know who also is available as a quarterback?
Who?
Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
That's
Deshaun
right.
Watson over the weekend, or was that last Friday? He was found not guilty on the 22 counts of criminal charges posted against him.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah,
he's
not-
not facing
not-
any charges
Not
anymore.
guilty in the court's eyes.
Not
but-
guilty in the court's eyes, which is a good sign for him if he wants to play
Yeah,
again.
because he's
So
been in a bad spotlight. Per se,
definitely has been in the
for the
bad
past couple of
spotlight,
years.
but a talented quarterback nonetheless. So
absolutely.
he is definitely. I don't know about definitely, but he's probably going to get picked up by a team
He will definitely get. Well, he's still under contract with Houston.
with Houston. Okay,
So they'll have to trade him.
and who knows? They
And
might
his-
want to.
His stock is now rising in terms of trade options. So
What do you mean stock?
in terms of like his what the Texans will be able to get for him?
Well, you were just saying, Eric, how like his reputation's kind of he's
Yeah.
in a bad light right now. Now with
the court decision coming out, he's gonna play in the NFL.
that
again.
clears his name a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
and like more teams would want him.
Yes,
Is that-
exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
that makes a lot more sense.
I even saw the Raiders were. I saw some stuff on Twitter about the Raiders interested in getting Deshaun Watson.
Well, do they want all the criminals? Like, I mean, geez, like they
Dear
had
God.
a rough season off the field. I don't think they want to repeat that. And
I-
plus, they have Derek Carr.
I mean,
Derek Carr
that's
is,
the Raiders for you, though, man. It's like
you could take Oakland out of Vegas, but I'm looking for an analogy that I can't think of right now. Bottom line, Raiders Raiders are going to flock towards what the Raiders flock to.
Yeah,
Okay.
Exactly.
There we go. So let's see. We got so Deshaun Watson. He's available. We'll see what happens with
Yeah,
that if
yeah, it's-
Houston wants to keep him. But
I think he's still gonna be. I think it'll be at least a couple more weeks till he's found a team.
who do you think is gonna find? Who do you think is gonna find a team
Him or
first?
Jimmy G?
Him or Jimmy G?
Yeah, that's. I mean, dude, the Niners have been lagging on this for like I said, basically since Trey Lance got into the picture. So, I mean, I don't know what their deal is. If it were me, I'm keeping him another year.
Probably.
I think it'd be better, especially for Trey Lance's development, if he had another year just kind of to grow and develop and learn the system. I don't see that happening, just because the Niners have basically straight away after the loss to the Rams, John Lynch had that press conference with Jimmy G and basically said, thanks for everything.
Yeah,
but-
just gave his goodbye speech
Yeah,
right there.
exactly. These guys still on the team, but
Jeez,
yeah, Jimmy, he'll be all right. He'll find a team, and
he'll be fine.
yeah.
All right, so let's see. A couple other things that I have on my notes. Amari Cooper. He was a victim to the salary cap from
Yep.
Dallas, and now he's on his way to Cleveland.
Yep. And
Really?
Cleveland picks up Amari Cooper and just released Jarvis Landry today.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, what?
They were looking to trade him, but I mean,
Okay.
I think it must have been a cap situation with them. But I mean, Amari Cooper, he was probably Dak's favorite target. But
One of Dak's
yeah.
favorites.
I mean,
Definitely.
with Baker Mayfield as a QB, I don't know how successful he's going to be. I mean, it reminds me a lot of the OBJ situation.
Mm.
I think OBJ and Amari Cooper are really similar receivers, in terms of like their talent and their play styles. So I mean, if it didn't really work out with OBJ, I don't know how well it's gonna be for Amari Cooper.
So that means Landry costs more than Cooper?
No, not that he costs more, but they released him to clear up basically the cap space
for Cooper
to be able to afford Cooper, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, they're losing. I mean, I think offensively they would have been pretty dangerous with the both of them. But I mean, they still got Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb in the backfield, so Baker Mayfield he's still got some stuff to prove, but
yeah,
it's the Browns.
I mean, they've been performing well.
Yeah, no, exactly. Historically, they're awful, but I mean, they can't.
Yeah, that's true.
They go from 0-16 to being competitive for first place in their division.
Yeah, going to a 10-6 team that made it somehow to facing the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Hey, and we all know teams from Ohio can do well. Teams from Ohio can pull it out.
Yeah, the Bengals proved that this year.
So anything is possible.
Yeah, I think
maybe except in Cleveland.
I think I'm just taking Joe Burrow every single day of the week over Baker Mayfield. That I will say I was really surprised at their Super Bowl run. I thought just in the first round they barely squeezed past the Raiders, and they ended up.
I know that was.
Ended up easily handling the Titans, and then the Chiefs just decided to not show up the entire second half of that AFC.
I mean, the game went to overtime, to be fair.
Yeah, but the Chiefs, I think the
numbers
was like Patrick Mahomes, like 3 drives, 3 TDs in the first half, and then show up in the second half, and they don't score a point until the field goal to tie it at the last second. And then they start off OT getting the ball back, and just, I mean, I could have told you from there that they're not winning that game off that.
Yep. And that's a $500 million quarterback right there.
Yep.
$500 million man. Jeez.
It's the curse of Jackson Mahomes now.
Oh my God, Jackson Mahomes.
The GOAT Jackson.
Dear God.
I've never watched any of his TikToks, but I could already, just by looking at his face, you could tell that this guy's just a piece of work.
He gets so much slander. Him and Patrick Mahomes' wife together, they're like so much slander on social media. It's hilarious.
Call it slander media. And so, gonna just briefly go back on the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, as we already said, is re-signed with the team, and also Davante Adams.
Yeah.
Davante Adams. One of the things that I thought was gonna drive Rodgers to come back to the team was Davante. Yeah. That's his number one guy. And
that's his only guy. It's like
really now it's his only guy. But the whole thing was Adams was supposed to get the Packers wanted to give him the franchise tag, and now Adams does not want it.
Yep.
He just doesn't want to play with it. I don't know why, but there's something about the franchise tag. I guess people just
I think he's just looking for a long-term deal. And the thing with the franchise tag is like, say, God forbid, like the guy gets hurt or something this year, and then he's left with no deal for the following season. So I think that's the reason why a lot of the guys are against the franchise tag. But yeah, he said he's doesn't want any part of it, and he's not coming back if he's got to play under the tag. So, I mean, I think for Rodgers, after re-signing, for all the money, now it's like, well, you may lose Davante because of it.
Jeez, I know. I mean, like, man, that just makes me sad. But let's see. Yeah. Oh man.
In terms of weapons, Davante Adams is by far the heaviest target, and I think in the Niners playoff game, I think he threw the ball to everybody else like 3 or 4 times, and then Davante had like 16 targets that game.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can only use Davante for so long before he gets double teamed by the other team, so where he can't be a target. So it is March. The best thing that comes out of March? Springtime.
Springtime and
Easter.
College hoops.
Oh yeah, college baseball. Oh yeah, basketball too. Yeah, how could I forget? I'm such a big basketball fan.
March is obviously March Madness. Best time of the year for college hoops.
The biggest tournament of the year.
The biggest tournament of the year.
Every casual college basketball fan is now diehard.
Is now a diehard for the next. it leaks out through April, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it
like
does,
early
it goes
April,
into
like
April. I think
3 weeks.
the
So-
national championship is April 4th.
Oh, so like it really just goes through all of March.
Yeah, the
That's why they
remainder
call
of
it March
March as we
Madness.
know it.
Yeah.
All right. So Erik was very nice to have printed out the entire bracket for this year's March Madness tournament. And we here at Something Sporty are going to go and predict ourselves. Me personally, like I said, I am a huge basketball fan. You know, I watch it every single day, but I'm going to let you guys take care. That's a joke, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I don't watch a whole lot of basketball, so I'm going to be enshrined and learn from these two and make my picks off of them pretty much.
Yeah, just make sure we fade Erik. 'Cause,
Yeah, no, Erik, make sure you...
London's going perfect bracket this year. I can feel it.
All right, so...
You want to just go through? Let's start off on the West.
Yes, from the West region, we have number 1 Gonzaga going up against number 16 Georgia State.
That looks like
Yeah.
18 to me. Oh,
And
no.
then we have
That's 16.
Yeah,
never
so
mind.
I think for that game, I think we all agree here Gonzaga is going to wipe Georgia State off the court pretty easily here.
I'm gonna
Alright.
write I'm gonna write this down, too.
And then 8-9 seed is Boise State and Memphis.
That's correct.
That's going to be a pretty close one. I think
I'm going to say
Boise State surprisingly had a really good run in the Mountain West this year. I think it's tough to go up against Memphis here in the first round for them. They got Penny Hardaway, obviously the coach.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Memphis.
I
in
think
this
Memphis.
case.
I mean, they're seed wise are the dogs, but we'll see what the line is when that comes out. But yeah, I think Memphis is going to be able to take that one pretty easily.
And then we have New Mexico State against my cross country coach's alma mater, UConn.
Yeah, New Mexico State. I mean, they. I don't know if you guys remember last March Madness. They were also the 12 seed. They almost had a huge upset against Auburn. And then their guy. I think they were down 1 or 2. I think they were down 2, and their guy got fouled with like 1 second left, and on a 3-pointer, and he made 1 of 3 free throws.
Oh.
So they ended up losing by 1 to Auburn.
Ouch.
So Auburn ended up going to I want to say the Final Four that year or something. They had a really good run, but I think UConn is gonna be able to handle them this year. I don't think New Mexico State has as good of a roster as they did last season.
Yeah, and UConn's historically a fantastic school for basketball.
Yeah, in the past few years they've definitely underperformed, but this year they've had a pretty good year. So I think they'll be able to handle it. The storied 5-12 seed, which always produces an upset every single March Madness tournament.
And then you have 13th seed Vermont versus number 4, the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah, I think that's going to be another pretty easy matchup for Arkansas.
I think it's going to be Vermont because they have a better record than Arkansas. They have
Yeah.
Vermont's 28-5 while Arkansas is 25-8.
Yeah, don't get fooled too much by the record there. I mean, Arkansas, strength of schedule wise, they obviously play in the SEC. They're going against much better competition. In my opinion, I think Arkansas is going to take that one pretty easy. Are you sensing an upset there?
I am getting a gut feeling of an upset.
Upset alert. I guess we'll see.
And then we have Alabama versus the matchup of Rutgers and Notre Dame.
So what is that?
It's basically the wild card version of
it's
March
a play-in.
Madness.
It's a play-in.
Exactly.
That Rutgers and Notre Dame, basically, they'll play each other the day before the tournament starts officially.
And then the winner of that game
And
will
the winner of
face,
that-
in this case, the Crimson Tide.
Exactly.
And when does the actual tournament begin?
This Thursday.
This Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll have to pay a little more attention to this stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So I think
Let's start with the wild card game
yeah, I
first.
think Rutgers is gonna take Notre Dame,
Yeah, I really hope so too.
and then
because-
I'm sensing an upset with Rutgers going over Alabama here because Alabama's had a couple of super shaky losses this season, and I think a couple of games ago they had a huge lead that they or it was the SEC tournament when they were up like 25 or something like that on Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt ends up coming back and wins by 6. So I think Alabama right now is already on kind of a downhill spiral, and I think Rutgers is going to come in with the upset there.
Yeah, I think you make a fair point there. So let's put down Rutgers. All right, then we have number 3 Texas Tech versus number 14 Montana State.
Yeah, Texas Tech is. I mean, they got a really solid defense. And
Yeah, and they've been performing like very well these past couple of years. Like in 2019, they made it all the way to the national championship game versus Virginia.
Yep. The last 2 years they've had really good tournament runs, so I think they're gonna easily take out Montana State here.
Yeah, so I will say Texas Tech.
And
Red
then-
Raiders.
And we got Michigan State and Davidson. I'm thinking I
Oh.
got another upset here.
Davidson, Stephen Curry's
Steph
school.
Curry's alma mater. Also, shout out Steph Curry. Happy birthday.
Oh, it is.
Steph Curry's turning 34
Happy
today.
birthday to the greatest shooter of all time.
Yeah, I think Davidson is gonna come out on top, and
Don't mean to interrupt. We here at Something Sporty, we want to wish Stephen Curry a very, very happy birthday. I just wanted to say that.
yeah,
And feel included.
it's a huge shout out to Steph Curry. Maybe
Shout out.
one day we'll get him on the pod.
Get him on the pod.
Yeah, we
Get him
would
on the
love to
show.
have Stephen Curry on this podcast. So Stephen Curry, if you are hearing this,
Because I
This is
know
an
you're
open
listening.
invite.
Because I know you're listening to the show. Don't be shy. Hit us up.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, Steph Curry's actually a huge fan of Something
He is
Sporty.
a huge fan. We told him all about it. He's gearing up to listen to the first episode of Something Sporty. All right, back to the basketball.
So yeah, next and last game in the West region, we got last game of the first round, we got Duke and Fullerton.
ooh, that's going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, Fullerton, they had a really good year this year. They won the Big West tournament by 1 over Long Beach State. They had a surprisingly really good season. I mean, Fullerton obviously not really known for basketball too much. Big part of that team is Damari Milstead. Just a personal note here. He actually went to Monroe Catholic, which is the rival basketball school of my high school. So I saw him a lot.
Really?
I watched him play quite a bit in high school and follow his career. He actually he went to USF for a bit and then transferred down to Fullerton, and obviously was a big help for them as they had one of their best seasons in a while and winning the Big West.
The
So
Dons.
Duke, they've been on a really bad spell as well after losing to UNC in Coach K's final game at Cameron Indoor, which was pretty embarrassing for them. They got blown out in that one, and then they end up losing to Virginia.
Not to mention tickets for that were going for as much as $75,000. Like,
What?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
$75K for a college game?
Yeah,
Yep.
there's celebrities galore there, and
Jeez, could you imagine being a student going there, thinking
Yeah,
that you get
it's-
free
Yeah,
admission?
yeah, even Jerry
Students-
Seinfeld and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver were in
students
attendance for that
were
game.
lined up like months before in order to get a
Holy-
seat.
Holy moly.
To
That
get a
is
seat
insane.
in that game. But yeah, they gets crushed by North Carolina and Coach K's farewell, and then they get blown out by Virginia Tech in the ACC tournament.
You know, I would like to see Duke go on like one last run to a national championship
For
to
Coach
end-
K?
For Coach K, so that way he can end his career on a truly high note.
Yeah,
Because like
I'm the
5
opposite.
national titles with Duke, it's crazy.
I think I'd love to see Duke get a first round exit here just to absolutely tarnish the reputation and
that would
crush
be funny.
Coach K's final year.
That would be hilarious.
Take that, Coach K.
Already
That would
losing.
suck.
Call
but
him
at
Coach
final.
L because he's a loser.
That would be
Yeah.
funny, but at the same time, that would be so heartbreaking.
Yeah, no, I think I want to go Fullerton here, but I think Duke will pull it off and they'll come out on top with that one.
On that note, we go to the East. The first matchup is Baylor and Norfolk State. I want to say Norfolk State because, God, I hate Baylor so much.
Baylor's got a really good team.
Yeah, and not to mention they're the defending national champions
Yeah,
too.
another Bay Area native with Baylor. They got James Akinjo, who went to Salesian High School. So and he's been having a really good year. He transferred from Georgetown. So just for the sake of the Bay Area pride, I'm going with Baylor here, and I think that they'll have a pretty good run.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I got to go with Norfolk
You're
State.
going with the upset here?
Yeah, that, and I know someone who hated my guts in high school, and that person's going to Baylor currently.
So this is just a personal
I
vendetta.
was
So,
gonna say
it-
personal vendetta against Baylor.
Yeah, I call it the Baylor rule. Like,
The
you
Baylor
hate,
rule.
or actually, I called it the Clemson rule. I'll get it. So basically, the Clemson rule means like you hate a school because of someone you know went to that school. Like, how do I explain this? Like, my dad had a coworker, an annoying coworker, according to him, and he went to Clemson, and that's the reason why he hates Clemson, because of that guy.
I see.
All right.
So yeah, that's why I'm going with Norfolk State.
Let's
State.
go on. We got North Carolina Marquette.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good matchup.
Yeah, I think North Carolina is still on their high though from beating Duke, and
The Rams.
yeah, I think they'll be able to win that one. Then we got St. Mary's, and then the winner.
Matchup of the winner of
winner of
Wyoming
Indiana.
versus Indiana. I'm gonna say Indiana will
Yeah, I
beat,
think.
will beat Wyoming, and then
You think what Indiana's gonna beat St. Mary's?
ooh, that's a good question.
St. Mary's got a really good team this year. I mean, they beat Gonzaga at home.
Yeah.
Well, at St. Mary's home, and I think St. Mary's got a good team. I think they'll.
Yeah,
come out on
not
top
to
of
mention
them.
St. Mary's is a Bay Area team.
And Bay Area, we gotta show love to the Bay Area. All right, next up we got UCLA Akron.
Ooh, that's another good matchup.
I think UCLA is gonna make another good tournament run this year. So I think UCLA is gonna
Yeah.
go.
Not to mention they're another historical basketball school.
Yeah, and then we got Texas Virginia Tech.
Ooh, that's another tough matchup. But I gotta go with Texas.
Yeah, I think I like the upset here, especially with Virginia Tech winning the ACC. I think they're also going to be on a high. We got Purdue, Yale.
Ooh.
Yale's got no chance.
I'm sensing another upset here. I'm gonna go with Yale.
Yeah, Yale. I mean, I'm not going to go with the upset there. And then we got Murray State, USF. San Francisco,
Ooh.
USF.
Let's go with the Dons.
The
Dons are going all the way.
Yeah, as you guys know, we're here in located in San Francisco, so we got some close ties to USF.
Yeah, first time in the tournament in 28 years.
Yeah, it's been a really good season thus far for USF. I think I'm going with John Morant's alma mater here, Murray State. They've had a really good season.
Oh wow, they're 30-2.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Murray State this year has got a solid team. I definitely like them over USF pretty easy here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that one too.
And then Kentucky, I think, is gonna.
And versus St. Peter's.
Yeah, Kentucky's going.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Kentucky.
All right, let's do Midwest.
All right, first matchup there we have the University of Kansas versus the winner of Texas Southern and Texas A&M CC.
Yeah, I think Kansas, no matter who they draw, it's going to be an easy win for them. Then we got San Diego State Creighton.
Ooh, that's another great matchup.
Yeah.
both schools have like solid basketball programs.
Yeah, I think San Diego State has, I mean, they slightly underperformed this year in comparison to the previous two seasons. They lost in the Mountain West to Boise State by 1. But I do have some close ties to the San Diego State basketball team, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with San Diego State here. You on the same page?
For some reason, I'm sensing another upset. Like, this is March Madness. This is Cinderella story season as we know it, guys.
Yeah.
Like, anything can happen in this tournament. That being said, I'm going with Creighton
All right. Iowa.
and
Another
Richmond.
5-12 matchup here. I think Iowa's going to take care of Richmond here, though. And then Providence and South Dakota State. I think Providence is going to take care of that one. LSU, Iowa State.
Joe Burrow's alma mater.
Yeah, I think LSU's had a really good, a pretty good SEC run, and I think LSU is going to take care of Iowa State. And we got Wisconsin, Colgate.
I think you meant to say Wisconsin versus Toothpaste University.
Ooh, got him.
Yeah, I think we both got Wisconsin in that one. Then we got USC, Miami. USC, 2 turning back into a big football school, but their basketball program has been really good the past few years. I think I got USC over the U.
Yeah. I also know a couple teammates who actually are on the track and field team for USC.
Okay.
Yeah, so that being said, going for USC.
All right. And then we got Auburn and Jacksonville State. Auburn's got a really good team. I think they take care of that one pretty easy.
All right, and that will lead us to the final section, the South.
All right. Arizona U of A just won the Pac-12 championship. I think they take care of either one.
31-3, mind you, versus the winner of the Wright State and Bryant.
Yeah, I think no matter who they draw, they got that. And then we got Seton Hall, TCU.
I'm going to say TCU.
Yeah, I think I like TCU over Seton Hall here as well. I think that's going to be another close game, but I think it'll be an upset there. I'll go TCU here. And then we got Houston, UAB. Houston, I think, take care of the
Yeah, Houston is performing very well.
Yeah, so far.
Very well as of late.
So far, we got I have all the 5 seeds winning, which, based on history, that's probably going to bust the bracket. But
not this bracket.
I'm confident this year the five seeds will take care of business. Then we got Illinois versus Chattanooga. I think Illinois got a good team.
Chattanooga. That's a word for you.
Yeah.
And then I'm going with the upset here. I'm a big Miami Heat fan, so big fan of the man Juwan Howard. He's been in the news recently with their altercation with the Wisconsin coaching staff. But I think Michigan is gonna pull off the upset here against Colorado State. And then we got Tennessee, Longwood.
I'm going to say the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, Tennessee, I think.
Is that their team name, the Volunteers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
it's their actual school mascot.
Are they actual volunteers?
I don't even know.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. All right, then we got a 7-10 Loyola Chicago versus Ohio State. I think Loyola.
Yeah, Loyola
always makes runs in the NCAA tournament. I think Loyola is going to pull it off.
It's Loyola.
And then
we all know this now.
Nova and Delaware. I think
shoot.
Villanova is solid. They have a really solid program. All right, so we covered the first round of our brackets.
So next time, how's this for an idea? So we'll have you guys have your brackets for the first round. Since we're not having a show next week, I'm sure a lot of these games will have happened by the time we come back.
We'll finish our bracket.
We'll finish the bracket, and then
we'll go through,
and we'll have an update, a review, an analysis on our
on
our
wrong,
most likely broken
how wrong we were.
Tournament brackets.
Okay. And then when we get closer to the finals and start making our predictions.
Yeah.
For the finals
based on
what
plays out.
Exactly.
But I've got confidence I'm gonna win the what is it, like ESPN offers like $1 million or something now.
$1 million.
That if you get the perfect bracket.
Yeah. Whew. Well, we also got to keep in mind that the odds of having the perfect bracket for March Madness is 1 in 9.2 quintillion.
Yeah.
That's not an exaggerated number. It's an actual number calculated by the NCAA website themselves.
Well, we're about to break the standards of gravity and all this NCAA bracketness with London's. He's so confident. He's making me confident in him. I'm pulling with London. Actually, no. I'm pulling for the Dons. I don't care what happens. The Dons are going all the way. They're gonna win this stuff. Because you said 24 years since they've been?
20 years.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
I'm pulling for them, but I think Murray State's just got a really good team. But I will definitely be rooting for the Dons.
I would love
if that
to see
means
USF
my bracket getting busted.
There we go.
Go advance in that tournament and hopefully win their first national title in their first time since the Bill Russell days. But we'll see.
We will see.
We will see soon enough.
All right. So before we get out of here, guys, I know our passion for various sports is varied, and some of us might not know professional wrestling as well as some of us, but it has just come to our attention that a legendary professional wrestler Scott Hall, or known as Razor Ramon, passed away today. Very sad. He had 3 heart attacks on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was on life support over the weekend. Based off of social media and friends, people close to him, it was said that once his family got together, they were going to DNR him and take him off life support. And he was taken off life support for a few hours and just died within the last couple hours. I just want to send my condolences, because I know they're listening, to the family of Scott Hall, and anyone who knew him and things like that. It's very sad when people die. Especially it's sad when people that you watch on TV die. You know what I mean? Like actors, celebrities,
that you, especially with
athletes.
your childhood, kind of like people, your
Exactly.
heroes, I guess, so to speak.
So I just wanted to say that and get that off my chest before we wrap up our first show of Something Sporty.
Boys.
We did it, guys.
I think it went pretty well.
I think it went pretty well too. We covered a decent amount of sports.
We covered something sporty.
We covered something sporty and something not so sporty. So
I'm Erik Carlson.
I'm London Lambana.
I am Elijah Rutsky. This was Something Sporty. This was Something Sporty. We will be back not next week, but the week after. We got spring break. It's going to be a fun one. I hope you guys have an amazing break, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks.